Let's get weird, buddy. Let's get weird.
Guys, where are we?
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
Here come the heroes to save the world from destruction. They are X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun. And today we are talking Wolverine. That's right. Big freaking surprise. A guy who loves X-Men and has been basically doing at least a book with Wolverine in it pretty much consistently since I started really doing these comic videos again. But as I was doing, like cutting my teeth on doing these and doing like the shorter mini series to like, so there'd be a little bit of a less of a commitment with like the X-Men 97 series and Madripoor Nights and Gambit 1993-94 and doing the Wolverine Deadpool Wade Wilson III. Like these are things that I've been working and trying to get better and better so that when I get to talking about the series proper, I feel better about doing them, which is why I'm glad that I waited till now to start doing my X-Men collection stories, and now we're going to start doing Wolverine starting from 1988. Why? Well, if you paid any attention to my channel, I happen to have a bit, you'd call it a bit of a soft spot for the old Knucklehead. My whole life, just about, man, I can't remember a time when there's the before I knew about X-Men and Wolverine, and there's after. And thankfully, most of my years in my life, I've been able to live with this character and the X-Men themselves. And I mean, it's as embarrassing and nerdy as it is to say, I've been walking around pretending to snikt just about as long as I knew how to think about popping my claws. I still pop the claws all the time in my head. I used to go up and down the stairs for some damn reason, like snikt and go up the stairs all stupid. This is what happens when I'm an adult. I do adult things. I have a full-time job. I drive my car to work. I do normal ass shit. But, like when no one's looking, every once in a while, you just pop the claws. I'm even looking at my Wolverine claws right now that I have across the room from me. Because Logan, and I see a lot of me in him. I've made jokes over the years about how I just cast me as Wolverine. I know it's silly to everybody else. Only as silly as everybody else who wants to be cast as Wolverine too. So there's guys out there going, fuck that, man, I'm the better Wolverine. Look, let's just agree that we'd all make great Wolverines in our heads, at least those of us who want this. But I'm sure that a lot of the reasons that I'll say are the same reasons as other people. I'm short like Wolverine, and I've got a lot of hair like Wolverine, but not like Robin Williams hairy. But enough. My hair, is kind of like wild and like Wolverine's, and I look. It's like Banner says, man. Like I want to be like Zen and peace and love everyone. I really do, man. But like, get on my bad side And there's that berserker fury that's like that'll come out because it's an angry world, and I've become, things have been tough for everybody, right? But in my own personal experience, things have been tough, and there's still a lot of anger that's there, and I just feel like, I don't know, like I'm always holding in that kind of berserker rage, and every once in a while it pops off. And I don't mean like scary wise, just, all of a sudden it's like, whoa. And then, it's always the quiet ones, right? But Wolverine's not necessarily one of the quiet ones, which is another thing. Like he's kind of like the short guy's like model in some ways. Like sure, you could say that he doesn't get Jean Grey, but he's he shouldn't have, like as much as like I liked that in the Krakoan age, Jean and Scott and Wolverine had this whole, thing going on that really didn't get talked about enough. I feel like they really kind of, once they knew people were paying attention to that, they really just they only sprinkled it in here and there. But he's had tons of loves over his life. So I can't say that he's one of those people that just you have to feel sorry for because he couldn't get the girl. He's been getting the girl. He got Silver Fox and Mariko Yoshida, but he's been linked to, Domino and Storm, and like he's gotten around, and he's had Jean plenty of time. I hate saying it like that. Had Jean. He's been with her biblically, okay? So it's like we can all, since the Krakoan age finally gave us Jean Grey and Wolverine getting biblical together in the 616, okay? And can I say biblical anymore? Ugh. Anyway, he's and the claws and the wolf, the skeleton, the healing factor that makes you live longer, right? Even though we find out, that the adamantium was slowly killing him and all that, but still, the guy's had a life. He's been a lot of pain, but that's life. Life is pain for everyone, whether you're a superhero with claws or not. And so if I was going to live through pain, I was like, man, I might as well be Wolverine. At least he can, do something about some of the problems that he has in his life, right? But he also is a character who's looking for redemption, knowing that, a lot of things that were out of his control, but a lot of things he did, before he was brainwashed and taken into gone into the Weapon X program and hung out with Maverick and Sabretooth, killing people all over the place. He was involved in plenty of killing before then and after. And he's just this person who knows that, like, if there is an afterlife, he's in for some big trouble. If you want to, believe in that kind of thing. But it doesn't stop him from trying to be better and being super loyal to his friends, being father figures, whether, I wanted to talk about this I'll talk about it more in the next issue that I cover, Wolverine, Deadpool. But I mean, he's kind of a father figure to characters like that all over the place, whether they like it or not. A lot of times he gives advice to characters like Peter Parker, even like that, they need at times. He's that guy that they can go to. Him and Cap are both kind of like that. But Wolverine's the guy, Cap's the guy that'll give you the, the good Superman-like speech. It's like, just, stand up for what's right and what you believe in. Wolverine is the fun uncle that'll tell you to kick the door down, and make fun, make things happen for yourself. But like, again, over all these years, Wolverine for me has just been this constant in my life, and he's gonna live long after I'm gone. But while I'm still here, I want to talk about him, and I want to show my appreciation in this 50th year of our Lord Logan. That it's been a pleasure talking about all the Wolverine stuff that's been coming out this year, because I appreciate that Marvel's been putting out tons of good Wolverine stuff for this year. I thought it was going to be, possibly a bunch of just kind of trite thrown together stuff. But instead, I mean, Claremont with Madripoor Knights, Joe Kelly and Adam Kubert with the Deadpool Wolverine Wade Wilson III. We've had him in X-Men 97, the animated series tie-in book. He's really, I love the version of him in that. Just the standard Wolverine book that just ended with issue number 50. And what's coming up with the new X-Men, where he's going to be teamed up with Gambit, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and Jubilee. That book I'm looking forward to. Plus, there's the Capullo book. Plus, there's another Claremont book coming out after that. So this is the time to start talking about Wolverine 1988. This is the time to, and we might not read every issue of this series. I don't know. We might jump around a bit from arc to arc. I might do some looks into like some of like the responses to some of these stories, because I remember like some of them not liking all of it when I was younger, but it could have changed. But I think my tastes have changed as far as writing goes. I think Wolverine's solo book is not what a lot of people expected. I mean, it's starting off with the Madripoor stuff. Like, he's working against gangsters, and they throw Hulk in issue like 7, 8, and 9 or something like that. But it's not even regular Hulk. It's Joe Fix-It. None of this is like stuff that a lot of people probably knew what to do with. This kind of adventure, especially the difference between him fighting in Australia in the Uncanny X-Men books, where he's fighting Reavers and the Brood and all the things that are going to end up leading to the team coming back together, I think in like 275, when they get through all the Extinction Agenda stuff. So, and in between all that, you've got the Siege Perilous that just happened. They all died, and so there's just a lot going on. But in the Wolverine solo book, at least at first, it's more of mercenary type of work, undercover type of work. It's not until the series gets a little closer to everything else where Mark Silvestri comes on after being on Uncanny X-Men, and we start seeing stuff with the Weapon X program again. We get to see the Wolverine android. We get him, and when Cable enters the picture, things change. So there's a whole lot of stuff that comes up and changes in this Wolverine solo book. But at the start, like I said, he's undercover, taking on the Japanese underworld, the Madripoorian underworld. But he's working with, or he's doing jobs for his Japanese love, Mariko. So anyway, I don't know where else I was going with that, but I'm trying to make sure that I feel like I've properly explained why I'm doing this. And I think I have. I might, I'm kicking myself, but I always do that. So anyway, it's time to get into Wolverine #1 from 1988 proper. Now, one of the things that you should know all right, so I started getting I just jumped into this because I could tell that I was having a hard time figuring out if I had said enough. Had I said enough to justify and explain why I'm doing this? And I stopped the recording as I was meandering there for a second, going, there's something you should know. There was nothing. I don't think I had anything. I just was trying to figure out if I had said every possible thing that I had wanted to come across before. And I was like, you know what? I think you did. I think you did it. But there is one thing that I did forget to say, and it's about the very first time that I saw Wolverine. The very first time I saw the X-Men. I kind of talk about it I think I talk about it in the X-Men 54 issue, but I'm going to say it here because it's applicable here as well, which is that the first time I saw them was I used to get the magazine for a TV show called 321 Contact, and they were on the cover of one of the issues. And I didn't even really know much about comic books. You know what I mean? I was like really young, and the X-Men that were in the 321 Contact magazine were like it was like the early 80s X-Men. I don't even think Rogue was part of the team. I think it was right around the time that Storm and Cyclops fought for leadership. But the pictures on there were like nothing I had ever seen in my life. They sparked something in my imagination that, along with things like Mystery Science Theater 3000 and shows like Cheers, reading The Far Side, reading Bloom County, all these things that I like early on in my life, like helped me develop a taste in things and a taste for story. Knowing good from bad, and I know that sounds kind of snobby, but like I always read at a higher level, even when I was young. So I was understanding things, but there was also the difference between understanding and knowledge, right? Like I can read something and understand it, but not have any way to apply it to anything. But those 321 Contact, that issue, when I saw them, I had no context for it, but I knew that I was always very upset. It was always somewhere in the back of my mind that I knew that these characters were out there, and I had no access at the time to comic books. The only comic books that I would be able to get were comic strip books, collections of The Far Side and Calvin and Hobbes and Bloom County and the such. And it wasn't until after my parents got divorced, and I don't want to like put a silver lining on that shit show, but like when my parents got divorced, I had to move, and I moved somewhere where they had comic book stores. And very quickly, I found a way to start getting into comics, and finally was able to satiate that need to find these characters and be able to jump into Wolverine's solo book like pretty much immediately. I started collecting in like 1988, 89. So like Wolverine's solo book was, I remember, I can see in my mind's eye, you know how it's like not a complete accurate memory, but like the feeling that you remember seeing certain issues on the stand from this time period. And it all started with that 321 Contact magazine, seeing the Claws, seeing all the characters, Cyclops and Nightcrawler. I mean, dudes, like it was just Colossus, a man made of metal, you know, but like looked cool. Like right out the gate, the first metal man I saw, like from my imagination or something, you know, like thinking about robots or whatever. What if people could be in metal? Colossus's design is just something that I freaking love. But everybody's design, but also just Wolverine's design, that costume, that mask. For some reason, we love our mystery men in masks, right? And then you see the Claws and you're just like, what? He's like Freddy Krueger running around as a superhero. So what's not to love? And so that's like the last thing I think I had. I'm probably going to I could probably talk about Wolverine just in general, like forever. So, hey, Dane from Actual Fandom, if you ever watch this and you just want to talk about Wolverine and comics, you know, just give me a heads up. Let's make that happen. I'm just kidding. I don't even know if he'll see this. But anyway, without further freaking ado, the preamble's over. It's time to get to the meat. It's time to read Wolverine #1 from 1988. It came out. The release date was July 12th, 1988. The cover date says November 1988. Editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco. Writer Chris Claremont. Penciler John Buscema. I always think I'm messing that up. Is it Buscema? Is it like Buscemi? But like, oh, John Buscema. Yeah, it should be just Buscema. Inker Al Williamson. Colorist Glynis Oliver. Letterer Tom Orzechowski. And editor Bob Harris. So this is called Sword Quest. And this, okay, they first bring up the black blade of, oh man, well, we're going to hear its name in here. I can't say it in my head right now. But this is the first appearance of Patch. And the synopsis basically, before we just jump into it, is like pirates have hijacked this plane. They've taken the plane passengers hostage. They're killing the men, and Wolverine is sent there on a mission. And it's kind of interesting when I think about this. Is like he was sent there on a mission to for a certain thing, but it really wasn't. I don't know if it really was his mandate to do anything about any of the hostages. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can infer it. You can think that he, in his as who he is, he would do something to step up and protect the hostages, but you really don't know in this first book the way he's handling things. But it's the Muramasa blade, damn it. The famous Muramasa blade is brought up in this. Anyway, so let's just jump in and get started as Wolverine takes on pirates in Madripoor for his lady love, Mariko. And what happens here as Chris Claremont takes us into the seedy underbelly of Hightown and Lowtown in Madripoor. Sword Quest. Well, Stan Lee presents Sword Quest. Great opening shot. Literally. Tell him bang. Oof! A small out-of-the-way island in the heart of the Indonesian archipelago, where Captain Lee Kwan Pen of Sovereign Airways makes his last desperate stand. Fatso calls himself Banapur Khan, Prince of Pirates. Mostly his riffraff outfit preys on boat people, refugees fleeing Cambodia and Vietnam, stripping them of everything they possess of value. Depending on their mood, Banapur's crew generally kills the men. Do worse to the women, and then sell anyone who survives to the local slave traders. Captain! Oh, there goes his head. Holy Mother have mercy. Blessed Buddha receive his soul. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Everybody dies, Boofle, but we'll make real sure y'all have a fun time before it's your turn. Chief slipping, mate. That flyboy had him on a ropes. You ready to challenge him then, Roger? Didn't think so. So, which of you lovely ladies wishes to help me celebrate my glorious victory? Now, don't be shy. Am I such an ogre? And if I am, do you think it wise to make me angry? A half-century ago, when the Dutch ruled this neighborhood, they built an emergency airstrip on Telembang, and all that time, no one ever used it. Until 8 days ago, when Sovereign Flight 49 disappeared. 21 crew, 180 passengers. Most of them beyond my help. First thing I found after coming ashore was their mass grave. Pirates are careless and cocky. They don't expect trouble. There's just the one guard out by the plane. Then there's none. The usual tripwires and booby traps. No trouble at all. For me to pass. Same goes for the perimeter patrols at the village proper. Like the plane squad, their minds aren't on their job, but on fun and games. Ow! Stinking cow, I'm bleeding. I'm glad. You like the sight of blood so much you can gaze at your own. Yo, bub. Snicked. Snacked. Ow. Oh. He never knew what hit him. Too bad. Some people don't deserve to die easy. Woman scared, but not about to give up. Good for her. Listen to me. Don't cry out. Don't be afraid. I mean no harm. I'm a friend. Stay here, out of sight. Stay quiet. You should be okay. I'll be back quick as I can. Thank you, whoever you are. Dear Lord, thank you. I'm homing on a specific scent. Followed it from plain to village. Finally to this hut. A breath tells me I'm almost too late. A look confirms it. Snicked. Kojima? Kojima Noburo, can you hear me? Who speaks? I know that voice. It is Logan. A cheap trick, and I will not be deceived. Logan is dead. Then consider me a ghost. He'll have no trouble doing that, stranger, because when we're through, a ghost is what you'll truly be. Talk is cheap, bub. You want my hide? Take it if you can. My name is Logan, but most people know me as Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do best isn't very nice. I figured about 100 pirates, give or take a few. Real rat race cutthroat lowlifes who probably consider themselves as rough and tough as men can be. My kind of crowd. My kind of odds. I almost feel sorry for him. I got him. Hotshot pops a full 40-round box of 9mm my way, not caring a hoot if his Uzi drops friend or foe. So long as he nails me. The bullets burn like fire. Would have killed anyone else. They just make me mad. Which is when things get out of hand. You see, I'm a mutant. Born with a parahuman super efficient healing factor that can deal with any illness or poison or wound, makes me way stronger and normal, faster, tougher, makes my senses keener than any animal's. In addition, my bones are laced with adamantium, the strongest metal known, so they're virtually unbreakable. Don't know how that happened or who's responsible. Don't much care anymore. I am what I am. Too bad for these clowns. Finally, I have claws. 6 of them, 3 in each hand, extending from bionic housings implanted in my forearms. Blades are pure adamantium, honed so keen they'll cut through anything. Saved my butt too many times to count. Usually I'm restrained about using them. Not tonight. Scram! While everybody's fighting, this is my best chance to escape. But then, what of Mr. Kojima and the others? I'm part of the flight crew. Even if I'm only a stewardess, the passengers are my responsibility. I can't desert them. Oh, poor Mr. Kojima. What did they want to make them torture you so? Noboru Kojima is the personal secretary of the woman I love, Mariko Yoshida, head of one of Japan's most powerful noble houses. As soon as I heard he was on the missing plane, I started searching. More I discovered along the way, the grimmer it got. I'm an X-Man. Mutants like me, band of superheroes, good people, idealists, dreamers, forever looking for the best in others. With them, killing is a last resort. With me, it's second nature. Kia! Thunk! I take the world as it is and give better than I get. Ka-tang! What? Come at me with a sword? I'll meet you with a sword. You want mercy? Show a little first. Passengers weren't the first bodies in that graveyard. This was a busy bunch of boys. Some of those folks died fighting, some praying, some accepted their fate. Some cursed it, some begged for their lives. Most were terrified. Details don't matter. What's important is that they died. And those scales have to be balanced in kind. Chong? Well, I'm Rum Singh. Hanaran. Kraus. Answer me, you renegade legionnaire dog. Roma. Is anyone there? This isn't funny. This isn't funny, you guys. Stop fooling about. Answer me. I'm here. Your men are gone, fat boy. Your turn to follow them. No! Another step and I'll slit her throat. No, please don't. That's the spirit, girl. Scream your heart out. Let him know how precious your life is. It's over, madripoor. Why prolong the inevitable? Keep your distance. I'm not bluffing. Neither am I. Well, stranger, you're out of luck, unless you want this innocent girl's blood on your hands. You won't kill her. You wouldn't dare. Who'll protect you then? She won't have to much longer. Unless you can walk on water. She served her purpose, madripoor. Let her go. Why should I do so foolish a thing? She'll keep me company on the road and bring a pretty price from the slavers. So long, sucker. Cocky son of a gun figures he's home free, that nothing can stop him. I know better. I'll gather more men, plenty available, and come after you strange... Tush! Light on shore breeze. Carried the stewardess's scent to me, as well as the fact she had a gun. That was for Captain Lee. He was a good man. I wish I'd been in time to save him. I wish I'd been able to save them all, instead of avenge them. But in my line of work, wishes don't count for much. You need not pretend, my lord. I know I am dying. I merely pray that I do so with honor. The pirates Logan-san, employed by the cult of the Black Blade. They wanted the Muramasa's sword. Lady Mariko never imagined cults still active or so powerful. Fanatics stop at nothing to regain their sacred talisman. Couriers bringing it from America. Arriving Madripoor Airport tomorrow. In deadly danger. The couriers, Kojima-san. What are their names? Too late for me, my lord. But the couriers, more than their lives at stake. Logan-san, if the legends are true, that sword of evil can corrupt, consume their souls. I'll do what I can, my friend, and to get word to Lady Mariko that you served her faithfully and well, and died a true samurai. cult goes back centuries, some say, to the birth of Japan. Last big resurgence was in their 20s as part of the pre-war rise of Japanese militarism. MacArthur's counterintelligence crew supposedly took care of him during the occupation, though we did a pretty good job. Live and learn.
Sovereign Airways announces the arrival at Madripoor Airport of Concorde flight mode from Los Angeles.
Been here the whole flamin' day, meeting every flight scooping out of the arriving passengers. As importantly, checking out the people meeting them. Name, please? So far, no joy. Lindsay McCabe, are you American? Born and bred from San Francisco? Your profession? Actress? And your reason for visiting the Principality of Madripoor? Tourist. Pass then. Hope you enjoy your stay. Me too. I sure aim to give it my best shot. She's the one. Bingo. This is trouble. I know the girl, and worse, she knows Wolverine. When the X-Men were in San Fran a while back, we stayed with her and her roommate Private Eye, Jessica Drew. As far as Lindsay and the world are concerned, the X-Men are dead. If she recognizes me, our secret's blown. Whoops. Fortunately, I've changed a lot since we last met. Careful, fella. Watch where you're going. Beg pardon, Missy. No reaction. Not even a flicker. So far, so good. And that brief contact enabled me to get a lock on her scent. Imperial Hotel, please. I can follow her anywhere. Others have the same idea. Local muscle rent-a-punks hired for the job, just like Madripoor's pirates. As easily taken care of. Snick-snacked! The tire's flat. Lousy, stinking imported piece of junk. Change it, you fool. Hurry, we'll lose her. So much for them. Now, this is the first time in the issue, and it's in the first issue that they now talk about the two separate entities of Madripoor, just like Claremont's been doing every issue of Wolverine Madripoor Nights in some fashion. City of Madripoor is split basically in two, along mostly economic lines, each half representing the most absolute of extremes. Hightown, on the peaks overlooking the port in Lowtown, contains wealth beyond the wildest dreams of avarice and luxury to match. Wow, oh wow, this is one classy hotel, considered by many myths to be the finest in the world. I can see why. This is so wild and wonderful. I feel like Dorothy gone to Oz. Good Lord. Half scared I'll wake up and discover it's only a dream. Thank heaven someone else is footing the bill. I bet my whole bank account wouldn't cover a single night here. You're sweet, miss. Hey, sorry to be such a babbler. It's just I'm so excited. What an adventure. My goodness. Please, my dear, don't stop talking on our account. Indeed, it's in your best interest to tell us everything we desire to know. I beg your pardon? I'd be like, who the fuck are you? Get out of my room. Or get the hell out. Feel that vibe, like Joe Pesci wish he had a second more inkling of what was about to happen to him in Goodfellas, you know what I'm saying? To just bolt. Inside, girl. Behave yourself. Do as you're told or you won't live to regret it. Hey, what is this? Who are you people? The less you know, the greater your life expectancy. Consider yourself a mouse, Miss McCabe, in the jaws of the tiger. Nothing here. Not in this one either. And these are all her bags. Give me a break, fellas. Customs already did this. Where is it? Where's what? Don't play games, girl. You are the courier. Where have you hidden the black blade? Pardon me all the blazes for butting in. But that's no way to treat a lady. These aren't local talent. Cult, possibly. And from the way they react to my entrance, top professionals. Fool, your intrusion has signed your death. Why? Other guys quick on the draw. No problem. Cathud. But the gun takes a bad bounce. My claws could end this fracas on the spot, but they'd also blow my cover. See? Right there. Better for now to play things cool and leave the dragon lady with the upper hand. Don't move, stranger. I have the gun. Big deal. I have the lamp. Ah! Okay, mister. How about you make like a gentleman? Before something happens we'll both regret. Mr. Eastwood taught me how to use this thing, Clint, but I'm no expert, and targets don't bleed, and I'm not scared stiff when I shoot at them, which means it won't take much to make this go off. In case you hadn't noticed, darling, I'm the one who came to your rescue. They're the bad guys. I'm on your side. You're the man from the airport who bumped into me. Yep, Kojima sent me. I'd prefer hearing that from him. Can't. He's dead. Flight got hijacked a week ago by the same outfit who's after you now. Dead? A week ago? But that's impossible. I spoke to him yesterday before leaving San Francisco. Whoever you spoke to, Missy, it wasn't him. But Jessie, my partner, she's the one carrying the sword. She's on her way to meet him, which means she could well be on her way to her own funeral. Next, the Black Blade. Bum, bum, bum. Love this back cover, by the way. That is on the back of Wolverine #1. And this is what's coming up for Wolverine #2, Silver Samurai. So it's not like they don't give us, some stuff to look forward to right away. And that was Wolverine #1 from 1988. And it's a bunch of stuff that I had to say too about Wolverine as well. And we'll be getting a healthy dose of all of that before and after and during all these videos. I really like it. I think it's a really great way to at least introduce the audience to this side of what Wolverine's doing and a different side of the Marvel Universe. The madripoor stuff, it might not be for everybody, but I like the down and dirty stuff now a lot more than I did back then. This secret underworld kind of things where he has to not use his claws unless he can get away with it. It's interesting, and it might be boring for some people, but it's challenging, right? It's taking the character in new directions, giving him somewhere to go. He gives him an alter ego, and as silly as it all is, it's no sillier than Superman's glasses, right? And people not realizing Bruce Wayne's Batman. It's all these kind of things. It's just comic books, folks. In for a penny, in for a pound. And I mean, there are some times where you can just go, fuck suspension of disbelief. And sometimes you're like, you know what? This just doesn't make sense story-wise or whatever. And if you don't like this, that's fine too. But I love it. And I loved talking about it, and it gets me so excited to keep going because now I'm really excited to see where they go down this memory lane and relive these books again. And it's just so much fun, and I hope that everybody else can enjoy this kind of thing too, because one of the things, the reasons I do this is so that people who wouldn't normally read comics get these stories told to them, so that when they think about the movies and the characters in the world, they have a bit more context to what they're seeing on the screen. Do you know what I'm saying, folks? Not to say that they suddenly need to turn into the rest of us nerds who all complain about things that aren't accurate. But I just think that it's cool to deliver as much information and education in whatever medium you're talking about to the people. Share it. Somebody doesn't know about Spider-Man, make a video about it and then say, hey, go watch my video out there. I got you covered. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I've said my piece. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. This is Rob from Smirking Gun saying we'll be back with more stuff. We'll be doing Wolverine #2. We've got Deadpool, Wolverine, Wade Wilson III. We've got Nice House on the Lake. We got X-Men, my X-Men collection books that are going on. We're also talking about the Terror, Infamy as well. We have game streams on the channel, and all kinds of other stuff is coming down the pipe. I think by now there's probably my boys video has been done with my friend Darren Jakes. You can check out where we talk about the boys season 4. Anyway, I think I've said everything I absolutely need to say, except that thanks for watching. Keep reading comics. And if you want to get into comics, don't be afraid to read comics. Figure out how to do it. There's so many different ways to read comics digitally or trade paperbacks or, getting different subscription services, whatever it takes. Feed that habit, I shouldn't say it like that. Like everybody's like, don't turn into a comics junkie unless you can afford it. But anyway, have a great day. Be good to each other. Keep reading comics. And I'll see you on the next video, bub. Bye. Ba 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 bum. Ba bum 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 bum.